The afternoon was quiet in Aaron's small home. Warm sunlight came through the kitchen window, filling the room with a soft golden glow. Aaron, a single father in his early 30s, was busy preparing snacks. His daughter Lily sat in the living room, arranging her toys in neat little lines, humming softly to herself. She was a bright, happy child, with a smile that lit up the room. It was just another normal day. Until the gentle knock at the door, Lily looked up. Her eyes brightened. "That must be Mia," she said, almost singing the words. Aaron smiled, wiping his hands on a cloth. "Go on, sweetheart. You can open the door." Lily hurried to the door and pulled it open. There, standing quietly, was a little girl. She looked about Lily's age, 6, maybe 7. Her hair was tied in a loose ponytail, and her small hands were clasped tightly in front of her. Her eyes were big, not with curiosity, but with caution, like someone always expecting something bad to happen. "Hi, Mia," Lily said cheerfully, reaching for her hand. "Come in, we're going to play with the dolls." Mia nodded softly but did not smile. She stepped inside carefully, as though afraid to leave a mark on the floor. Aaron observed her quietly. He had seen her before. She was the new neighbor's child. A quiet girl, extremely quiet. "Hello, Mia," Aaron said warmly. Keeping his voice gentle, she flinched slightly, like his voice was too loud, even though it wasn't. Aaron's smile faded a little inside, though he did not show it. Something about the child's body language. It was different. She didn't act shy. She acted afraid. Lily led Mia to the living room, and they began to play. But Mia didn't play the way most children do. She moved slowly, like she was scared of making mistakes. She kept her eyes on Lily, copying whatever she did, as if trying to be right. Every time her hand brushed a toy, she checked its position again and again, making sure it was perfect. Aaron pretended to stay busy in the kitchen, but his eyes were on her. Something inside his heart felt heavy. He brought out 2 small plates with sandwiches and juice. "Girls, snack time," he said gently. Lily smiled and grabbed her plate happily. Mia walked slowly, as if she was scared to take something that wasn't hers. "You can eat, Mia," Aaron assured. She nodded once, very small, and sat down. The moment the plate touched the table, she began eating fast. Not just fast, desperately. Like she hadn't eaten well in days. Aaron felt something twist in his chest. "Slow down, sweetheart," he said softly. "It's okay. There's more." Mia stopped immediately, almost too fast. She froze, hands mid-air like she was waiting for punishment. "I'm sorry," Mia whispered, barely audible. Aaron blinked. Lily also looked confused. "Mia, why are you sorry?" Lily asked, gently touching her hand. Mia didn't answer. She just lowered her head, her small shoulders trembling slightly. Aaron wanted to ask questions, but he knew he couldn't yet. He didn't want her to feel threatened, so he just smiled gently. After snack time, the girls returned to play. Lily picked up a small doll and lifted her arm dramatically, making the doll dance. Aaron, watching from the side while reaching to grab a glass from the high shelf, raised his arm slightly, and that is when it happened. Mia jumped back. Her small body shook like she had been struck by lightning. Her hands rushed to her face, covering her head. Her voice came out weak, broken, full of fear. "Please, don't hurt me. I'll be good. I'll be good." Her words trembled like a leaf in the wind. The glass slipped from Aaron's hand and landed softly on the counter with a dull sound. He stood frozen. His heart felt like it had stopped beating. Lily stared, confused and scared. "Mia," Aaron said very quietly, very slowly, as if speaking to a wounded bird. "Sweetheart, no one is going to hurt you here." Mia didn't look up. She kept her hands over her head, breathing fast, like she was waiting for pain. Aaron moved closer, but not too close. He kneeled down on the floor, lowering himself so he wouldn't seem tall or threatening. "You're safe here," he whispered. "No one in this house hurts children. You're safe, I promise." His voice shook, not from fear, but from heartbreak. Slowly, Mia lowered her hands. Her eyes were filled with tears she wasn't letting fall. Tears she had learned to hold inside. She looked up at Aaron, not trusting, just scared, and in that moment, Aaron understood. This child knew pain. Not the kind kids get from falling on the playground. Not the kind that lasts a moment. This was pain that lived in her every breath, the kind someone had taught her. He exhaled, long and deep. Something inside him changed. He wasn't just a neighbor anymore. He was now a witness to a truth he could not ignore. And this was only the beginning. The house felt quieter after that moment. Lily continued playing, but her eyes kept drifting to Mia, as if trying to understand something she could not name. Mia sat still, her hands resting in her lap, her shoulders tight, like she was waiting for something bad to happen. Aaron stood near the kitchen doorway, pretending to look busy, but his mind was running fast. He kept replaying her words. "Please, don't hurt me. I'll be good." No child should ever say those words. Not with that fear. Not with that voice. He watched closely now. Mia did not move the way a child normally moves. There was no freedom in her steps. Every gesture seemed careful, measured, afraid. She never relaxed. Lily picked up a colored toy block and laughed, placing it on top of the tower they were building. Mia followed, but before touching the blocks, she looked at Lily, almost asking for permission without speaking. "Mia, it's okay," Lily said with her usual happy tone. "You can play however you want." But Mia still placed the block very slowly, making sure it was straight, perfectly aligned. As if a single mistake would bring punishment. Aaron's stomach felt heavy. He sat down in a nearby chair, not too close, not too far. He didn't want to scare her again. "So, how long have you two been friends?" he asked lightly, trying to keep the air calm. Lily spoke quickly, as children do. "Since she moved in across the street. Her mommy said she can come here to play. I asked if she wants to be my best friend." Mia lowered her head slightly, as though the word friend was something fragile. Aaron smiled gently, though it didn't reach his eyes. "That's nice," but Mia didn't respond. Her eyes stayed down. Then something small happened, but it said a lot. Lily accidentally knocked over part of the block tower. It fell to the floor with a soft clatter. "It's okay," Lily said, giggling. "We can build again." But Mia froze. Her face went pale. Her breath caught. Her eyes widened in fear. She whispered fast, trembling, I didn't mean to. I didn't break it. I promise." Aaron's heart clenched. "Sweetheart," he said softly. "It was just an accident. Nobody is angry." But Mia didn't move. It took almost a whole minute for her to relax enough to breathe normally. A minute that felt like forever. Later that day, after Mia went home, Shrin sat on the couch, staring at the floor. Lily climbed up beside him. "Daddy," she said softly, "why was Mia so scared?" Aaron looked at his daughter, his bright, warm-hearted little girl. She had never known fear like that. He swallowed. "I think Mia has had odd days," he said carefully. "Maybe someone hurt her before," Lily frowned. "Why would someone hurt her?" "She's nice," Aaron didn't answer. "Some questions break you because you shouldn't have to explain them." The next few days, Mia began visiting often. Her mother usually did not come to check on her. She just let her go, almost relieved to have her gone for a while. Aaron started noticing more signs. When Mia laughed, rarely. It was small and quiet, like she didn't know how to laugh loudly. When she walked, her steps were silent. Too silent. Like someone taught her to not make noise. One afternoon, Mia wore a short-sleeved shirt. Aaron noticed faint, yellowish bruises around her upper arm, shaped like fingers. He froze. His jaw tightened, but he did not ask her. Not yet. He had to be careful. If he asked wrong, she might shut down. And if her home was dangerous, pressure could make her situation worse. Instead, he focused on making her feel safe. He always spoke softly. He always moved slowly around her. He never raised his voice. Not even a little, and slowly, very slowly, Mia started trusting him, just a little. One evening, Lily and Mia sat drawing pictures at the coffee table. Mia drew flowers. They were beautiful, but the stems were always bent, flowers that grew but did not stand straight, like they had been stepped on. Aaron watched them. Lily leaned closer to Mia and whispered, loud enough for Aaron to hear, "My daddy is very kind. He never shouts." Mia didn't look up. She didn't smile, but her voice came out small, broken, honest, lucky. Aaron felt that word hit him harder than any punch ever could. That night after Mia went home, Lily came to Aaron again. "Daddy," she said quietly, "Mia told me something." Aaron looked at her carefully. "What did she say?" Lily touched her own arm gently, the same place Aaron saw the bruises. She said, "If she doesn't do everything perfect, her stepdad gets angry." Aaron looked away, closing his eyes. He had suspected it, but now he knew. He took a slow breath, steadying himself. He couldn't rush. He couldn't storm in. That would only hurt Mia more. But he also couldn't do nothing, because now it wasn't just suspicion, it was truth. He opened his eyes again, and in that moment, his heart made a silent promise. He would protect that child. The days continued quietly, but quiet did not mean peaceful. The silence around Mia felt heavy, like a secret that had been carried for too long. Aaron watched her carefully every time she came over. He didn't ask directly, because he knew one thing: a child who has survived fear learns how to hide. If he pushed her, she would close her heart again. So he waited, he listened, and he showed her every day that his home was safe. One afternoon, Lily and Mia were playing in the backyard. The sun was bright, the grass warm, and a soft breeze moved through the trees. Lily laughed freely, running and spinning in circles. Mia watched her for a while. She wanted to join, but her body didn't know how. Aaron sat on the porch, just watching them, giving them space. Lily called out, "Mia, come play tag." Mia hesitated, her fingers tightening around the edge of her dress. She looked at Aaron, waiting for approval or permission. Aaron nodded gently. "You can play, sweetheart." Only then did she run, but not with joy. She ran like someone used to running away, and when Lily tagged her, Mia flinched, her body tensing like she expected to be hit. Lily paused, confused. "I just touched you. I didn't hurt you," she said softly. Mia didn't answer. Aaron felt his chest tighten again. Later inside, Lily went to wash her hands. Mia sat on the couch, quiet. Aaron sat down a small distance away, not too close. "Mia," he said softly, "you don't have to be afraid here." She didn't respond. She stared at the floor, her legs hanging off the edge of the couch, not moving. Aaron continued gently, "You're safe. Nobody is angry. Nobody will hurt you." Mia swallowed hard. He could see her small fingers pressing into each other, nervous, anxious. Then a whisper escaped her. "It's not like that." At home, Aaron's heart slowed. He didn't move. He didn't speak, he just listened. Mia kept staring downward. "If I drop something, if I spill water, if I talk too loud?" Her voice trembled. "He hits me." There it was, the truth, soft, broken, spoken like it was simply normal life for her. Aaron felt tears burn behind his eyes, but he didn't let them fall. He couldn't cry now. She didn't need his sadness. She needed his strength. "Your stepdad?" he asked quietly. Mia nodded just once. "And your mom?" he asked carefully. Mia's voice was almost gone. "She says, he is tired. She says, I make him angry. She says, if I be good, he will be calm." Aaron closed his eyes for a moment, steadying his breath. His hand curled slowly into a fist, but he kept his voice soft. "Mia," he said, "listen to me." She looked up, eyes full of fear, as though expecting punishment for speaking. He leaned slightly forward, not close enough to scare her. "You did nothing wrong. Nothing. You are not bad. You do not deserve pain." Her lips parted slightly. No one had ever told her this before, not once. Lily returned. Lily came running in, her hands still a little wet. "Daddy, we should draw again." Aaron smiled a little and nodded. "Okay, sweetheart." Mia watched them, like she was watching something she didn't know how to be part of. A family, kindness, safety. She sat beside Lily and they began to draw again. Lily drew a big rainbow with smiling clouds. Mia drew a small house with no windows, Aaron noticed. He sat down with them and picked up a pencil. "Can I draw too?" he asked. Lily laughed. "Daddy, you draw funny." Mia looked at him again, really looked this time. She saw soft eyes, not angry ones, and that was when she finally spoke, quietly, carefully. as if she was testing trust. "Can I come here every day?" Aaron felt his heart crack open in a way he didn't expect. "Yes," he said without hesitation. "You can come any time you want." Mia nodded, just a tiny nod. But it was enough. In that small nod, there was something new. Not joy, not comfort, but hope. A small one, a very fragile one. That night, after Lily fell asleep, Aaron sat alone in the living room. The house was quiet, but his thoughts were loud. He knew he couldn't simply ignore this. He knew Mia needed more than kindness. She needed protection. He thought of going to her house. He imagined confronting the stepfather, but anger could make things worse. If he acted without care, Mia could suffer more. He had to be smart. He had to be gentle. He had to do this right, so he made another silent promise. I will not let her face this alone. Meanwhile, in her own home, Mia sat on a cold floor in her small room. She held a crumpled drawing Lily gave her, a rainbow, a smiling cloud, a world where mistakes didn't lead to pain. And for the first time in a long time, Mia closed her eyes and hoped tomorrow would come faster. The next few days passed slowly, each one uncovering another piece of Mia's silent pain. Aaron did not ask questions directly. He just created space where Mia felt safe to speak. And sometimes silence tells more than words. One quiet afternoon, clouds filled the sky. Rain tapped softly against the windows. The house felt calm, warm, gentle, nothing like the world Mia came from. Lily sat drawing at the living room table again. This time Mia drew too, but her drawing was different today. She drew a small girl holding a stuffed rabbit. The rabbit was missing one ear, Aaron noticed. He remembered seeing Mia holding a toy like that once, when her mother picked her up. An old rabbit, torn, faded, loved too much by someone who didn't get enough love back. He sat down slowly beside her. "That's a very nice drawing," he said softly. Mia didn't answer. She shaded the corner of the page darker and darker, almost like she was drawing shadows. Aaron waited. He didn't rush her. He knew the moment she spoke would come from inside, not from a question. Finally, she whispered without looking up. He threw it. Aaron's heartbeat slowed. He listened. He said, "Toys are for good children." I was bad. Her voice was flat, empty, not crying, not angry, just telling the truth she had learned to accept. Lily looked up, her eyes full of worry. But she didn't speak. Even she understood the moment was fragile. Aaron spoke gently. "What made him angry, Mia?" Mia's hand stopped drawing. Her fingers trembled. "I asked for food, just 4 words. But it felt like the whole room broke." Aaron's breath left his chest. His hands curled slowly into fists, but he forced them to relax. He couldn't show anger, not yet. Anger might scare her. He leaned closer, voice steady, soft. "You were hungry. Asking for food is not wrong. It is never wrong." Mia shook her head, not to disagree, but because the idea was too strange for her to accept. "He said I eat too much. He said I waste money. He said I should be grateful." Aaron's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed calm. "Mia, how often do you eat at home?" Mia didn't answer with words. She just held up 2 fingers. 2 meals a day. For a growing child, Lily's face fell. "That's not fair," Lily said, her voice small but full of emotion. Mia looked at her, almost surprised, as if fairness was a magical idea she had never heard before. The sleeping story. Later that evening, Lily and Mia were watching a cartoon. Aaron sat nearby, pretending to scroll on his phone, but his attention was completely on Mia. The cartoon character laughed loudly. Mia flinched, not at violence, not at shouting, just sound, as if every loud noise in her life meant danger. Aaron took a slow breath. "Do you sleep well at home, Mia?" he asked carefully. Mia's shoulders tightened. "No. I sleep on the floor. The bed makes noise. Noise makes him angry." Aaron closed his eyes. Pain hit him like a wave. Lily looked shocked. "You don't have a bed?" Mia shook her head. "I had one, but it squeaked. So he said I didn't deserve it." Her words were simple, but they carried the weight of fear. Lily moved closer to Mia and wrapped her arms gently around her. Very gentle, slow, soft. Mia froze at first. Then slowly, She leaned into the hug, like someone who had forgotten hugs even existed. Aaron felt tears behind his eyes. But he didn't let them fall. Children shouldn't see adults break when they are the ones already broken. The mother Aaron decided to ask something softly. Mia, your mom, does she know what happens? Mia's face went empty. Completely still, she knows. The words were simple, but heavy, painfully heavy. She says he is stressed. She says I should not make him angry. She says if I behave, everything will be fine. Her voice grew quiet. A whisper. I try to be good, but I always fail. Aaron leaned forward immediately. You are not failing. You are not bad. You are a child. Children make mistakes. Mistakes are normal. Mia shook her head again. No, mistakes mean punishment. Aaron's breath caught. He needed to say something important. Something that would plant a seed inside her heart. Mia, listen to me. She looked up. Her eyes filled not with tears, but with exhaustion. You did not deserve any of what happened to you. Not one moment. Not one hit. Not one shout. Not one hunger. Not one fear. Her lips trembled. No one ever told me that before. She whispered. Aaron's voice softened even more. They should have. The candle, it was time to give her something permanent. Something she could keep. Aaron stood up and went to a shelf. He took out a small battery candle, one that glowed softly. He placed it in front of her. This light, he said, is like you. Even when everything around is dark, you are still shining. Mia stared at the light. Her eyes softened just a little. Will the light go out? She asked quietly. Aaron shook his head. Not here. She reached out slowly and touched the warm plastic. Her fingers stopped shaking. For the first time since she arrived in their lives, Mia breathed without fear. The next week arrived quietly, but underneath that quietness, something was shifting. Mia was beginning to smile, small smiles, but they were real. She laughed once, softly, at something Lily said, and Aaron felt something warm inside his chest. It was like watching a flower open inside a storm, but storms don't stay away forever, and this one was about to return. The day everything changed. It was late afternoon. Lily and Mia were coloring pictures on the floor. The room was peaceful. Aaron was in the kitchen preparing tea when he heard a knock at the door. Not a gentle knock, not a polite knock, a sharp, angry knock. Aaron felt something cold run through him. Lily looked at him. Mia froze completely. Her hand stopped midair, the crayon falling from her fingers. She knew that knock. Aaron walked slowly to the door, his heart beating in his chest like a warning drum. He opened the door just a little. A man stood there, tall, heavy, angry eyes. Mia's stepfather. His jaw was clenched tight. His face was red. He smelled of cigarette smoke and frustration. I'm here for the girl, the man said, voice rough, not caring if a child heard. Aaron kept the door partly closed. She's with her friend right now. They're safe. The man leaned in, eyes full of threat. She belongs in her house, Aaron. Felt anger rise inside him, but he kept his voice steady. Belonging is not the same as owning. The stepfather's eyes narrowed. She's my daughter. Aaron's voice was calm, but firm. She's your responsibility. And there's a difference. The man stepped forward, trying to force the door open. Aaron pushed back, blocking him. You have no right to keep her here, he growled. Aaron met his eyes not with fear, but with something stronger. I have every right to protect a child in danger. Inside the house, Mia was shaking. Her breath came too fast. Her small hands were clenched into fists. She whispered to Lily, voice trembling, He's angry. He's angry at me. I shouldn't have stayed too long. He's going to... Lily grabbed her hand tightly. No, you're safe. My daddy won't let anyone hurt you. Mia looked toward the doorway where Aaron and her stepfather stood. Her heart beat so loudly she could hear it in her ears. The confrontation, the stepfather growled. Move! I will take her! Aaron planted his feet firmly. No, the word was calm, clear, final. The man laughed once, cold, low. You think you can stop me? You think you can replace me? Aaron didn't raise his voice. He didn't move an inch. I don't want to replace anyone. I just want her to be safe. Can you say you keep her safe? The man's hand curled into a fist. Aaron didn't flinch, but behind him, Mia did. The man saw it, and he smirked. That's right. She knows. She knows who she should listen to. Aaron took a slow breath. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply said, "I have already called someone." The man stopped. What? Aaron stepped away from the door just slightly. Child Protective Services. They'll be here soon. If you want to talk, you will talk to them. The man's face darkened like a storm cloud. You think you're saving her? He snapped. You're making it worse. She'll come home eventually. And when she does, he didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. Mia knew exactly what he meant. Her small body shook harder. Aaron's voice, however, remained steady. No, she won't go back. Not like that. Not ever again. The stepfather took one step forward. Aaron didn't move back. Two forces. One built on fear. The other built on protection, and protection did not break. Mia speaks. For a moment, everything was silent. Then, slowly, very slowly, Mia stood up. Her hands were shaking. Her knees were weak, but she walked forward. She stood behind Aaron, holding the back of his shirt between her fingers, like it was the only safe thing in the world. She looked at her stepfather through tears, and for the first time, she spoke. "I don't want to go with you." The house went still. The air froze. The man stared at her, shocked, angry. "You don't get to choose." He growled. Mia's voice broke, but she continued. "I don't want to be hurt anymore." The stepfather opened his mouth, but Aaron spoke first. She said no. 3 words, strong, final. The man stepped back, not because he agreed, but because for the first time he realized he had no power here anymore. The door closes. The stepfather gave one last furious glare. "This isn't over." Aaron looked at him without fear. "It is. For her, it is." The door shut. The lock clicked. Silence. Mia collapsed into Aaron's arms, crying in short, shaking breaths. Not loud, not dramatic, just the quiet, painful sound of someone who had held in fear for too long. Aaron held her gently. He didn't say it's okay, because it wasn't okay. He just held her and let her cry, because for the first time she could. The next few weeks felt like living inside a sunrise, slow, gentle, and full of new colors. Mia stayed with Aaron and Lily officially now, while the child protection officers handled everything. The house didn't feel like a house anymore. It felt like a home. Mia started sleeping through the night. She started eating better. She laughed sometimes, small laughs at first, then real ones, bright like sunlight on water. Lily loved having her there. She would wake up every morning and run to Mia's room, as if making sure she was still there, and every time she saw her, she smiled. Aaron watched both of them at the breakfast table one morning, their hair messy from sleep, their faces bright with happiness. Something inside him felt full, complete in a way he hadn't felt in a long time. Life was still simple, but now it was beautiful. Mia's fears didn't disappear overnight. Sometimes Mia got quiet. Sometimes she flinched if someone raised their voice, even if they were just calling from another room. Sometimes she would wake up from dreams with tears in her eyes, clutching the blanket like she was afraid it would disappear. But now she wasn't alone. Aaron would sit beside her and say softly, "I'm here. You're safe." And Mia believed him, not right away, but slowly. Like a flower learning the sun will always return. A paper that would change everything. One afternoon, a social worker came to talk to Aaron. They sat at the kitchen table while Mia and Lily played on the living room floor. The woman smiled kindly. "Mia has made a lot of progress here," she said. "She feels safe. She trusts you." Aaron listened quietly, hands folded. The woman continued, voice softer. "There is an option, if you want it. You can apply to become her legal guardian. Later, maybe even her adoptive father." Aaron felt something he couldn't describe. It wasn't just happiness. It was something deeper, but he didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at Mia, the way she gently braided Lily's hair, the way she smiled softly, carefully. Like she was still learning how to. She had become part of their lives so naturally, so quietly. Like she had always been meant to be there. Aaron looked back at the social worker and nodded. "Yes," he said. "I want to." The day of the decision, the courtroom was small, quiet. Sunlight filtered through tall windows, warming the air. Mia sat beside Aaron, holding his hand tightly. Lily sat on his other side, swinging her feet. The judge read through the papers, glasses resting low on his nose. Then he looked at Mia gently. "You've been staying with Aaron and Lily for some time," he said. "How do you feel there?" Mia swallowed. Her voice was small but steady. "It feels like home." The judge nodded. "And do you want to stay with them?" Mia squeezed Aaron's hand, then said something she had never said before. "He's my safe place." Aaron's chest tightened. He felt tears rise, but kept them back. The room was silent. Then the judge spoke. "Very well. Guardianship is approved." Mia let out a tiny breath, not loud but full of relief. Aaron leaned down and whispered, "You're family now. Not because of paper, because we choose each other." Mia nodded and wrapped her arms around him tightly. For the first time, she cried not from fear, but from feeling loved. Home changed in small, beautiful ways. There were 2 toothbrushes in the bathroom before. Now there were 3. There were 2 small chairs at the table. Now there were 2, and 1 more, painted with flowers by Lily and Mia together. Family pictures began filling the walls. Not fancy ones, just everyday moments. Lily and Mia laughing while baking. Aaron helping them build a pillow fort. The 3 of them sitting under a blanket watching cartoons. Nothing extraordinary, and yet everything. A quiet evening one evening. All 3 sat outside on the porch. The sky was painted orange and pink, fading into purple. Lily leaned against Aaron's shoulder. Already half asleep, Mia sat beside him, her head resting lightly against his arm. She looked up at the sky and whispered, "I didn't know life could feel like this." Aaron looked at her softly. "Like what?" Mia smiled, a real smile, warm. Aaron placed his arm around both girls. "That's what family feels like," he said. And in that moment, there was no sadness. No fear, no past shadows, just a father and his 2 daughters, wrapped in the quiet glow of a sunset that felt like a promise of more mornings, more laughter, more warmth, a new beginning, not perfect, not easy, but real and theirs, always, story complete.